I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, for being so crazy. Not to say I don't really care about my wife's day or her conversation. That's not what I mean. Hello, I'm Anthony. I wanted to make a video talking about growing up with ADHD. It used to be, back when I was growing up, when I was young, it was only called ADD, but now they've changed it to ADHD. One of the first things of ADD or ADHD is inattentiveness. This is one of the signs of ADHD is inattentiveness. Also, another sign is hyperactive impulsiveness. A child could, or an adult could have either or, but they also have some children that are both, that are combined. I think I was more combined. I had inattentiveness and I was very hyperactive. So I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, for being so crazy. So for me, growing up with ADHD, it was really hard. It made me feel really isolated and kind of like an outcast. I didn't have too many friends growing up. I kind of felt like the weird kid that walked around lunchtime picking up rocks all by himself and collecting rocks. That was me. So that brings me to my first point. I felt different growing up. I kind of wondered if everyone felt like me, I don't know, I just felt different than all the other kids. They all looked like they were, I don't know, having fun and being normal. I just didn't feel normal. For instance, in class, the teacher's teaching and everyone's focusing, paying attention, answering questions from the teacher, and I'm kind of just not understanding anything. And that's what just made me feel like an outcast. Everyone's on the same level, and then I'm over yonder looking at the butterflies. Also, I still have this now, but remembering things. I still, to this day, haven't memorized my months. I think if I try really hard, I can. Sometimes I miss a couple months, but Veronica really just showed me how to say my months in order just last year, really. And I still have to ask what number of the month it is when I'm signing dates, so I could look cool and put 3, 11, 20 instead of, see, now I'm gonna make myself look stupid. May, I don't know, 3, I don't know, but that's my point. Okay, so also remembering things like, for instance, today, I lost my phone. I couldn't find my phone. I didn't know where I put it, and good thing it was on top of my car, out all by itself. But I forget stuff all the time. I forget people's names all the time. It takes me forever to remember things. I had a lot of problems paying attention. This was mostly in school, but I still have this problem now. I could use Veronica as a great example. Sometimes, and I know she's gonna see this video, and I'm sorry, sometimes she talks to me and she just talks and she talks and she tells me about her day, and I'm looking at her and I'm, doing this, but I don't hear nothing. Not all the time, sometimes, but see, there's that inattentiveness. I just can't focus on what she's saying. And then she'll just be like, did you hear anything I said? And I'm like, no. And then after a couple times, I catch it. But the same thing happened in school. The teachers would say something and, my parents would ask me, okay, well, how do you do your homework? Beats me. I don't know. Didn't the teacher tell you? Yes. Don't you remember? No. Did you take your medicine today? No. So, yeah, a lot of problems paying attention. Organization. This is really, really bad. If you look at my car, you look at where I keep all my books, my closet, where I put my shoes. I am probably the most unorganized person that anyone watching this has ever met. No, probably not, but I'm really extremely unorganized. And that has made my life difficult because I lose a lot of stuff like that. Probably why I lost my phone, because I just put it wherever. But yeah, it's made my life really difficult. Growing up with ADHD, I felt like I struggled with depression a lot, maybe more than most kids. I don't know if it was because my parents were divorced, but most all kids' parents are divorced now, at least half of them anyway. But I think it may have been partly that, but also having ADHD and having so much trouble focusing and feeling like I'm the odd one out and kind of being a loner and all these things. You know, I was watching stuff on ADHD, and you know, you ask anyone, oh, everybody has ADHD now. That's what everybody thinks, because they can't pay attention, or they have to read the same sentences over. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have ADHD just because you can't pay attention. There's more things than just that. But supposedly, they said something like only 3 or 5% of people have it, which I don't know how true that is, but it is difficult. So I do feel bad with children with ADHD. I spent a lot of the time crying in the classroom. I was a huge crybaby because I would get so frustrated. I couldn't pay attention. I just couldn't get anything. And I just felt like the dummy. I was always the dummy. Always the dummy. And I had glasses with a bowl haircut, and it didn't help. It did not help. You know, at least if I had glasses, you'd think I'd be smart. But no, I had glasses, a bowl haircut, and I was a dummy. So that didn't work out for me very well. I spent a lot of time crying, and I was crying. Man, put all that together, I was a mess. So let's see. The only thing that is good about ADHD, for me anyway, is I can't concentrate on things that I don't really care about. Not to say I don't really care about my wife's day or her conversation. That's not what I mean. I may have just dug myself a hole. But for instance, I love Jesus. I'm a Jesus freak. I love Jesus. So reading my Bible, I don't have to read my sentences over again. Reading Christian books, I don't have to read my sentences over again. I grew up hating to read. Now I have tons and tons of books. I read the Bible all the time, and I love it, and I don't have a problem with it. I was a horrible reader. Now I'm a great reader because I read all the time. I was reading to my mom the other day, and she was like just amazed on how good the words I was saying and that I was reading. And she was like, where did you learn how to read? And I just said the Bible. I mean, there's some pretty big words in the Bible. They got some really hard names to pronounce. But yeah, so there's that. And like the gym. I love working out. I love the gym. And you know, these things that I love to do, they become like obsessions almost, and I really do it. I don't just do it, I go for it. When I work out, when I'm reading my Bible, you know, these are things that I enjoy. So I'm good at the things that I enjoy, but I'm really bad at the things that don't interest me. It's hard to pay attention, and that's why school was such a struggle for me, because I really didn't care. I did not like school. I did horrible in school. I only graduated because I had some great friends that really helped me out toward the end. Well, throughout all of high school, I should say. But my life I still have some of these traits of ADHD, but not as bad as when I was younger. It's gotten a lot better over the years, but it's not a light thing. I mean, when people really do have ADHD, especially in children, it's really hard for them. It's not an easy thing to deal with. I know a lot of people, they take it lightly. You know, they kind of think, oh, it's not. But I struggled growing up. I really did. I really struggled growing up. I spent a lot of time crying and frustrated and angry and just, yeah, it was hardcore. But and I really don't know how I feel about the medication, Ritalin and Adderall. I got put on it in the 4th grade, and when I got on it, it did make me concentrate a lot more, and my grades went up, but I was a zombie. I didn't eat, and I was a zombie, and I wouldn't even want to talk with my friends, the few that I did have. It just made me like comatose, like a zombie. It was weird. You know, people want Ritalin nowadays, you hear about it and they get all hyped up and they start cleaning, and I'm thinking, man, I was just like stuck on stupid. I was just out there. But I don't know how I feel about Ritalin and giving children Ritalin, but I don't know. I didn't like it, but it did help me. So I have mixed feelings on Ritalin. For adults, it's fine. But for kids, I don't know. And if you're a parent and you do give Ritalin or Adderall to your kid, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't know. I'm just saying, me growing up taking it, I didn't like how it made me feel. But yeah. All right, so yeah, this is my video on ADHD and growing up with ADHD and how it was for me. So what I want to do is I want to make a second video and kind of explain a little bit more on my challenges with ADHD and how I believe growing up with ADHD played a part in my addiction that I dealt with for a very long time. I believe ADHD had a lot to do with it, and I even believe that medication had a lot to do with it as well. That's why I was kind of saying I don't know how I feel about it. But I do want to make a second video explaining how I believe it had something to do with my future addiction. Thanks for watching.